Welcome back to my channel. This week I decided to do mini twists to give myself a much needed break. So if you're curious to see how I did this look, keep on watching.
So when it comes to sectioning or parting my hair, I make two sections down the middle of my hair, but not quite down the center, and then work in horizontal rows from back to front. And then for the sections for the twists themselves, I'm just parting vertically and doing these off of how dense the section of my hair is and how full or how thick each section is. And that's because the density throughout my hair is different. So towards the front part of my hair, it's a lot more dense than the back side of my hair. So if I went off of solely the area of a section, the twists would not be as uniformed because it's dependent on the density of my hair and not actually the area. So that's just one tip that I have for making sure that they're all uniformed, and especially since it's mini twists, ideally no one is looking at your parts. I've also found that in parting my hair this way, it looks a lot fuller, and as I mentioned, people can't see your part, so it gives the illusion that there's a lot more hair than there may actually be. And I am doing this on stretched hair. I mainly do this on stretched hair because it also makes the sectioning a lot simpler. I don't have to worry about detangling as I go, and all I really need to worry about is applying the product and just twisting. And so this is actually my point of view when I braid my hair. I have one mirror in front of me just so that I can see how thick the section is, but I have no way of seeing the back of my parts because, as I mentioned, it's not my biggest priority. And this also means that when I'm doing my hair, I'm a lot more comfortable. It makes it a lot faster as well. So in terms of how to twist your hair, you're first going to get the section that you'll be working with. I use about a pea-size amount of the product of choice, which I'll have listed in the description box. And you just want to make sure to apply that from the root of your hair all the way down to your ends. Next, you're going to split that section into two and then pass one strand of hair to the other hand. And I pass it between my thumb and pointer finger and then receive it between my pointer finger and middle finger. But ultimately, when you're twisting hair, all you're doing is passing one strand of hair to the next hand and repeating that. Some people like to twist one section and do like a rope twist. But for my mini twist, I find that this is the quickest way to do it. And this also helps me to avoid bringing in other strands and tangling it. So to finish the twist, I'm just going to apply a little bit more of that product and coil it around the ends. And that's the finished product. So just to explain it again, start with two sections, and then pass the hair from one hand to the other hand, making sure that the section is smooth. And sometimes it might kind of get twisted in itself, so that's when you can smooth out the section again and just continue to pass one hair to the other hand. So for example, my non-dominant hand in this video would be my right hand and dominant would be left. So I am passing it to my left hand, holding it between my middle finger and pointer finger, and then putting it between my pointer finger and my thumb to pass back to the non-dominant hand or my right hand. And so really your dominant hand is kind of doing all of the work, whereas the non-dominant hand is just receiving it and passing it back. So I think twisting is one of the more easier styles to do and techniques to learn, and then it really helps open up your range of possibilities when it comes to styling your hair. I also wanted to just talk through how I maintain this hairstyle and also how I refresh it throughout the week to help with my hair retention or my length retention. So throughout the week, I will apply mousse to the length of my hair, and then I will focus the leave-in conditioner or curling cream on my ends, and this is just to make sure that they're really well moisturized. And because I do have type 4 hair, it's really important that my hair is not drying out, because that can be a lot more susceptible to my hair locking up. That's also another reason why I stretch my hair, because I don't have to worry about as many knots and single strand knots when it comes to taking out my hair. One of the worst ways, I would say, or one of the most damaging ways when it comes to your length retention is actually, in my opinion, in the removal process. Because when you're putting in the style, it's pretty hard to damage your hair, but if you don't have the patience or you are rushing like I am when you're taking out the style, that's what can cause the breakage at your end. So I just make sure that I keep my ends really well moisturized throughout the week, or however long I'm keeping the hairstyle in. And then to go to sleep with, I tie the front of my hair with a satin scarf, and then I just sleep in my bonnet. Sometimes I will put my hair back in a ponytail with a satin scrunchie and then just put my bonnet on top. It just depends, but I never sleep with my hair uncovered in mini twists, just because it's probably more likely to dry out that way. So mini twists as a whole are a pretty low maintenance hairstyle, but I wouldn't call them no maintenance. I also would recommend trying to do low manipulation hairstyles with mini twists. So I don't have a lot of tension on my hair when I have mini twists. I have the front of my hair cornrowed, and that's so that I don't have to worry about pulling it back in super tight buns or tight ponytails or half up, half downs. Anything that's putting too much pressure on my edges, I try to avoid, and that's why when I do my cornrows for a style like this, I take out a lot of my baby hairs so that there's a lot less pressure on my hair and a lot less tension as well. In terms of reducing frizz for my hair throughout the week, I'm still working to perfect that. For me, in order to reduce frizz, I sleep in my scarf, and then I'll also apply the mousse throughout the week and then just tie my hair down with a scarf. That helps to reduce some of the frizz, but honestly, with mini twists, they're going to look how they're going to look. But it is important just to make sure that you are applying product to your ends, and this will also help your twist from unraveling. So even though the hair in the front of my head is a little bit looser and it looks like the ends are a little bit straight, when I apply the product, it'll go ahead and coil up, which will prevent it from unraveling and then tangling up throughout the week as well.
So this is the final look. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. This will probably last about 2 weeks, and then I'll be ready for something new. But hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next week.